Okay, guys, HBCU family, this is County Mosley of HBCU Legends on Sports Illustrated's Fan Nation. I'm here with Brian Custer. And Brian, we're going to talk about something that has hit both of us pretty hard, and that's prostate cancer, man. And a lot of African-American men in this country have been affected and will be diagnosed with prostate cancer over the next several months and years. But there's more that we could be able to do and to be able to address this situation and address the issue. So welcome to talking about something that's personal. And this is Prostate Cancer Month, the month of September. How you doing, Brian?
Man, it's good, Kyle. It's good to be with you. First of all, I hope your health is good.
It is. Thank you.
And you're getting your regular checkups. That's always important.
Yes.
And I think the message is for every guy, especially watching this, and especially if you're a person of color, is that, number one, you have to go get your annual check. That's number one. But number two, you should be getting a PSA test done if you're 40 and over. Listen, the numbers.
Yeah.
The American Cancer Society will tell you, I think one out of every 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. And for us, it is just raging, and we're twice as likely to die from it than white men. So it is so crucial that A, we get an annual check, but B, we get a PSA test done as well. So, and as you know this, the earlier it's detected, it is for the most part in the 90s, 95% treatable. You don't. They call it the silent killer for a reason, because you won't really have any symptoms, and it could take you down quickly.
Yeah, I'm pretty fortunate. I was a part of that early stage that they caught it in because my PSA, every year I would go get a PSA, and I've done it since the age of 22. And the reason being, because my father had prostate cancer, and he also had testicular cancer, and he passed away not from the cancer, but the chemo treatments were so harsh on his body, he contracted some sort of bacteria and went into sepsis, and he passed within days after that. So for me, I knew I needed to do something all the time as far as check up on everything. My doctor said, hey, we're balding. You got a high testosterone level. It's something that you needed to do. And I'm glad when I went in and we did the biopsy and it showed the signs, I decided to go with the radiation treatment. And that's another thing. A lot of guys have the misconception that, the digital examination is going to be such a negative blemish on my record or whatever. But we're talking about saving lives. The PSAs are about saving lives as well. And these are tools and resources that we must utilize to be able to make sure we are here for our families.
Well, you hit on a couple of things. I think number one, your father a lot of times is the benchmark. And if you have a father or an uncle that had prostate cancer, you're right. A really good oncologist will tell you, you probably should be getting a PSA at 35 as opposed to 40.
That's right.
And I can only talk for myself. When I first had my PSA at 40, my number was 2.4. And so even my oncologist who ended up doing my surgery said, you know what? You probably should have been getting the test at 35. He said, because probably at 35, you were probably still around the whole numbers are like around a 1 or so.
Right.
And that's far too high for somebody at that age. Right. And so for me, at 40, it was a 2.4. And then all of a sudden I skipped it at 41. Why? Because of what you just said. Even my guys I work with, when I told them I was going to go to the doctor, I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to get a PSA because I'm 40 now. They're like, oh, you going to let that doctor put his finger there? You gay, man. What's going on with you?
Yeah, crazy.
All kinds of crazy stuff like that. And so I let that mess with me too, because at 41, I was like, nah, doc, we did it last year. I'm good. And he was like, "You sure?" I was like, yeah, don't worry about it. And I just did my regular physical. But then at 42, luckily, he said he wanted to, did the physical, and he was like, "Let's do your PSA." I was like, "Oh, we already did that." And he was like, looked at the record and said, "No, you skipped it last year. Let's do it again." And took my blood, and then he did the digital rectal exam. And when he did it, he said, "I feel a bump on your prostate."
Oh, and wow.
When the results came back, they were 5.3. So that thing had more than doubled in a year.
Right.
In a year's time, it had more than doubled. And thank goodness, man. Thank goodness that A, I had a good doctor who made me get that PSA test done, but B, did the digital rectal exam, because that was really the first key that he knew something was going on when he felt up there and felt the bump on my prostate. And that's something we got to get over, I think, as a people. Like, yo, man, I ain't having him do that. That's, well, you know what? Hey, thank goodness he did do it for me, because it saved my life.
Yeah. The stigmas are pervasive in our culture, right? And the 1-6 stigma that we have, and I had to deal with this with a close relative of mine who's an uncle, is that I have it together. I'll have it all together. I can control this myself. I can battle it myself. I can do it myself. Let's be frank. When it comes to cancer, that's something that's attacking your body and killing you from the inside out. And it's something that you have to get some assistance with. A lot of the holistic medications do help and do work. I'm not talking against that, but we must be wise enough and proactive enough to be able to educate ourselves on how to go about attacking this system, and that is attacking us, and that's cancer. So as a man, I spoke to these guys about what I went through as far as the radiation treatments are concerned, and I worked through those. Some people go through the chemo. What was your treatment like for you, Brian?
Yeah, so for me, I tell people all the time, listen, my cancer is going to be different from your cancer. Your cancer is going to be different from somebody else's. So I don't act like I have all the answers, but I can tell you from what my experience has been and for what I've learned here over the years. And for me, surgery was the answer. Why? Because I was so young and mine had been dying, and it was so aggressive. I knew, and as the doctor, when we sat down as far as treatments, he was like, "Look, we can try radiation, but I can't guarantee you that radiation is going to get everything that is going on right now inside your body and inside that prostate. And if that thing starts spreading, I just got to tell you, it's a wrap for you." And I think we're on the verge of that right now. In fact, I remember when he diagnosed me, and after I had the biopsy, and he said, "Oh my God, yours is extremely." He took 12. I don't know about you. He took 12 specimens.
Yeah, cores. Yes.
7 of mine were cancerous, and so he was like, "Bro, I got to get you in surgery now. Like, not in a few weeks, not in like a year, not in 6 months." He's like, "I got to get you in surgery in like the next couple of weeks." He said, "I'm gonna use this week. You're gonna have some tests." And he says, "Then I'm going to make sure I clear my schedule and get you in the following week." And sure enough, I had surgery within a couple of weeks of getting diagnosed. And it was, listen, for me, it was a blessing because it was on the verge of spreading. And I thought I was good. Every 3 months, I had to go back after surgery, had those follow-up. And I remember Doc told me, he said, "Don't you go ghost on me after we had surgery." He's like, it's not over. Yours was really too aggressive. And thank God he said that, because it wasn't until like maybe, I want to say another 2 years, a little bit over 2 years, that my number started going up a little bit again. When I had the PSA, it wasn't zeros I was pumping out anymore. It was, 0 point, blah, blah, blah. 0 point went in, and he was like, "Listen, we get close to anything trending towards a whole number, we got to do something different." And that different was radiation, like yours. Mine was high grade radiation. So I did like 38 bouts of that.
Wow.
And I tell people all the time, cancer is a fight more mentally than it is physically. Sure, I mean, you can do some things to prepare your body. I was always in great shape, so my body wise, I was ready for the fight.
Yeah,
but it's here, and if you're not strong here, that this disease will take you down. And I thought after surgery, I really did. I was like, slated, good, I'm ready, man. Once them numbers started going up, and he told me I have to go through radiation, it was again. I went through that depression area. Why me again?
Yeah.
Why is this? Why can't I thought I slayed this dragon. Why do I have to fight it again? And I remember him telling me when I was going through radiation, like, I need you to stay active. If you have to take a nap during the day. But he said, just don't lay around lethargic, because if you do, you're not going to feel well. You may catch a cold. It's just going to take you down. And so I had to fight again mentally. And build my body up physically when I was going through those radiation things, because I was still working. I was traveling.
Yeah,
I would be on the road, come back home, be up in that place at 6 a.m, do my treatments every day, 6 a.m, and then get on a plane and go travel somewhere. It was a fight, man, and it made me a better person, though. I can honestly tell you that.
Oh, I'm glad you went through it, Brian.
Yeah.
Man, if you guys don't know, this guy is one of the heavyweights in the business. He does a great job.
Appreciate that.
But I tell you, man, that's what kept me going. Just being able to write and to report and go into the games. And while I just had a treatment a couple of days ago. Then I'm burning up inside, and my son and I. Come on, let's go to the game. He was my photographer and my videographer, so he came with me. We went everywhere. We went to see Dion. We went to go see the Saints. Whatever it was, we did it, and we tried to do it together. And it really helped me through the process. That was my form of therapy as well. Tell me this. When you go around the country, you talk to different people about prostate cancer, do you feel as though it's not getting enough recognition outside of our community?
Yeah, I think, listen, I became a brand ambassador with the American Cancer Society, and which I love what they're doing, because they're certainly pushing the envelope, trying to get it out there. I wish it was recognized and promoted more like breast cancer awareness is, right. And we see the pink everywhere. And obviously, breast cancer is something that's very prevalent too. But this is like the second most common cancer right now in this country. Mm-hmm. And it is, it does not discriminate. Whether you're white, black, but for some reason, it seems to just be raging within men of color. So the one thing I do like is that now more organizations, more churches are doing what they can to get the word out, and doing one of the most positive things is now they're doing these screenings and things for free. So people don't have, some people may say, man, my insurance may not cover it, and it's so expensive. But now these churches, I know Kappa Alpha Psi, which I'm a member of, they do these prostate cancer screenings all the time, and they do them for free. So there's really no excuse for people just going to get tested and going to get the test. And listen, we can always do more. Hopefully we just don't let September be the month that we talk about prostate cancer, that we do it every month. I think that's the hope that I'm looking forward to, is that we get this message out every month, because it's not like prostate cancer, takes September off because they said people talking about it. It's raging every day. And so
it is, man.
Have to work every day as well.
Yeah. And that's important right there, because I know last year I approached the guys at Sports Illustrated and say, hey, man, we got to do something to talk about prostate cancer. Yeah. Let's try to get the word out. We weren't able to get it out in time. And this year we're trying to do the same thing. Then Shannon Sharp came out on Fox and surprised everybody with his announcement that he went through it years prior. Right. But there are so many other people who have gone through, notable guys who've gone through sports, celebrities as well, outside of the sports world, who have been through this. We've got to be able to have more people saying, yes, I've been through it. Let's talk about it.
Right.
And that's why you are here. And that's why I'm here, to be able to address this. I'll say, yeah, when the opportunity to speak with you about, I say, it's personal for me.
Yeah.
This is personal. And we've got to be more cognizant of what's happening out there in our communities. So many people are dying because they had lacked the knowledge and lack the understanding how they can fight this disease in their lives. So I appreciate what you're doing.
Well, thank you, man. And I think you hit on a really salient point, only for the simple fact that, you know, listen, I can't speak for Shannon Sharp, but I'm sure he looked at it as if, like, I'm this big, strong, former football player, Hall of Fame guy, you know, ripped, and I don't want people to know that even as young as I am, man, I've had prostate cancer. I may have some issues, maybe whether it comes to ED, incontinence. Man, I don't want people to know all that. I get it. I remember when I got diagnosed, and my doctor said, who was getting ready to do my surgery, said, "Look, man, trust me, you're in great hands. I'm gonna save your life." He said, "I'm only gonna ask you to do one thing," and he said, "I need you to use your platform to talk about prostate cancer. And it is just raging in your community, and you got to do something." Man, I looked at Doc like he had three eyes. You got to remember, I was 42, just turned 42. I was like, man, I ain't telling nobody I got this. What are you talking about? I'm like, man, at that time, all I thought was, isn't that something like your grandfather got? I was like, man, I'm not telling nobody, Doc, that I got this thing, man. I don't want nobody to know. You trying to tell me I'm going to be sterile? You trying to tell me that I can't have no kids no more? You trying to tell me that I may have, you know, erectile dysfunction, or I may have incontinence? What? Leakage? No, I ain't telling nobody nothing. And he said, "I need you to do this. You know, I'm going to save your life. Don't you want to save another?"
Right.
Man, he put it to me like that. I went home like, boy, how selfish am I? And that was when the next morning, when I had to go to Lenox Hill Hospital in New York City to go have surgery. Doc took a picture of me. I was in my gown. He was getting ready to walk me into the operating room. And that's when I put it on Facebook that, you know, I've been diagnosed with prostate cancer. I'm about to have surgery. Men, you need to go get your annual physical, and you need to have a PSA test. I had one, and it saved my life, because I'm about to go in surgery now. Had I not had it, I wouldn't be here. You know, men, please get checked. # get checked. Yeah. And that was the day I did it. And then, you know, I just been on doing it every day. And listen, even when I had it, and before I went through surgery, I wanted to talk to somebody, but I was scared to talk to anybody, because I was like, I don't want nobody to know I got it. And then I had so many questions. I want to know what's going to happen to me on the other side. What am I going to be like? Am I still a man? You know, will I still, you know, all that kind of stuff. And so that's why, number one, that I went public with it. But then number two, whenever people, as you know this, people DM me, they text me all kinds of just, hey, you don't know me, but I know you have problems. I have it too, and I'm scared. I don't have any kids, and should I get surgery, and blah, blah, blah. And I talked to them because I felt like if I had somebody to talk to, man, this would have been great. Yeah. And I didn't. So I feel like it's my duty to do this. And, you know, the one thing I felt like is when I thought about it, a lot of times, you know that old biblical saying that God doesn't put more on you than you can handle. Number one. Right. But I think sometimes, Kyle, he also does this because he says, I'm going to choose you, Kyle, or I'm going to choose you, Brian, because not only can I know that you can handle it, but I think that you will handle it in the right way and be a blessing to others.
There you go. There you go. And that's the most important.
I think that's the reason why we've gone through it. And now you're doing what you're doing. I'm doing what I'm doing to get that word out so that other people can get through it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Trials and tribulations. Yeah. You must go through those to show yourself approved. And you are approved for the mission
Yes.
to go ahead and speak on prostate cancer.
Yeah.
One last thing before we get off, man. And I have to ask this, and not ask it, but I have to say this to whoever's listening. It's okay to be afraid.
Yeah.
It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to, like Brian was saying, find someone to talk to, get counseling, work through whatever fears that you may have or concerns that you may have about your manhood or anything to that nature. It does not mean that you won't be a man. It's just God is preparing you for a different stage of your walk as a man. So that's the most important thing, in my opinion, is that how you, like you said, Brian, what's going to happen on the other side? You never know. You just got to walk through it, man. And you have to continue to be dedicated and committed to help other people beat cancer and fight cancer, especially prostate cancer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you talked about that. You gotta have a goal. You gotta have. For me, it was my boys. I got 3 boys, and I was like, I'd be damned if I'm not going to see these guys, graduate from high school, graduate from college, get married. So when I got diagnosed, they were so young. They were like 9 and 10. I think the youngest one was 3, and all I could think about was I got to be there for these guys. And that was my goal. Professionally, kind of like what you said, I felt like I got so much more that I want to do. There's so much more I want to accomplish. I want to go down as being one of the greats. I love this job. I love what I do. I'm passionate about what I do. And I feel like there's so much more that I can do and want to do. And the fight is not over. And so, look, here I am now, 10 years later. I'm here talking to you. My boys, hell, I got 2 boys now in college. The youngest one's in 8th grade. And so I'm on my way of checking off those boxes of seeing them graduate from high school, seeing them graduate from college, and hopefully see them, get married, have kids as well. So I think you got to also have a goal, know who you're fighting for, and know what you want to accomplish and fulfill your purpose in life. And that, for me, this is part of my purpose in life, is not only to do some of these things that I'm doing professionally, but doing this as well. And we still have a lot more that you and I need to do to get the word out there.
Yeah, that's right. Look, for me, my son told me, Dad, I want you around. That's what he said. I want you around. All right, well, I figured it out.
Yeah,
I have to push through my little feelings.
Yes, because
that's all it was. I was wrapped up in my little feelings. It was only for a moment, guys, but yeah, I was wrapped up in my feelings.
You got it, Kyle. I tell people this too. The first time people call me about it, I say, bro, first of all, you got to have your why me moment. Get it out, and it's okay if it's for a day, 2 days, 3 days. Get it out. But then once you're done with that, I just need you to refocus mentally, and let's begin the fight.
That's right. And that's what it is. Always be ready for the fight, stay vigilant, but work on your health.
Yes.
I always tell people my favorite word is tenacious. You always have to be tenacious and stay there and stay fighting, guys. All right, Brian, tell everybody a little bit more how they can get information to help fight or be aware of prostate cancer.
Well, listen, man, I mean, obviously, one of the things, again, is, I've become a brand ambassador with the American Cancer Society. You can always hit them up. I mean, they've got programs there where they help people who've not only been diagnosed with cancer, but, families as well. They help financially for those type of families who are in need there. That's number one. The Prostate Cancer Foundation is another one that you can also. Your church, generally, your church is going to have great programs and resources there too. That's one of the things I love about the Black church, is that they're becoming more vigilant about doing these type of things to get the word out there. And, look, if you want to hit me up on social media, you can hit me up on Twitter or X.
It's X now, right?
X and IG at B Custer TV, man. And listen, I always hit people back, and we have a conversation.
Well, guys, you got to hit him back because he's one of the best in the business, and I always respected your work, Brian. I have great admiration for you, and knowing that we have this connection now, man, you can't get rid of me.
Let's stay in touch. Let's stay in touch, man.
Definitely, guys. This is serious.
Yeah.
Go get your checkups. Get the test. Don't run away. Don't hide. Don't ghost your doctor. Be there and be with somebody who could be an accountability partner with you if that's necessary. If you want to call me, do so. You can be able to reach out to me at HBCU Legends or at KTMOZE on Twitter as well. So do what you need to do, but do it now, especially, hey, there's a long life ahead of you if you do the right thing.
You're right.
All right. I'm Carrollton Mosley of HBCU Legends. That's Mr. Brian Custer. Dare and always be tenacious and fight through cancer.
Amen.